Good morning, students. Today I am going to start with chemistry of standard 7. Chapter is Language of Chemistry part 1. As by its name, it's there. Language of chemistry means we will understand what is the language of understanding or writing chemistry. So let us go in detail. First thing that we'll understand is about chemical change. You had already studied about physical and chemical changes. So, a chemical change in which some new substance are formed. During a formation of a new substance, some substance are also required. One or more substance undergoes changes than new substances we are getting. The simple example you can take like burning of a piece of paper. We are going to burn the piece of paper, then we are getting a new product that is in the form of a ash or some carbon dioxide gas as well get evolved. Some heat as well, some light as well. So some new substance are being formed during a chemical change when one or more substance undergoes that changes. We can also name it as chemical reactions. Means during a chemical reaction, some substance undergoes some changes and we are getting new substances. So the substance that undergoes changes are known as reactants. So reactants are those substances that takes part in chemical reaction. And as the reaction takes place, we are getting the new substance that are known as products. So products are the substance that are formed after reaction. When substance react, undergo change, there is a change, maybe in any form that we will study later on. What can be the changes in the substance that undergo changes? So the product are the substance that are formed after reaction. So what actually happens during a chemical reaction? During a chemical reaction, atoms do not disappear. As you have already studied before, that atoms take part in chemical reaction. So what is going to happen with the atoms? Are the atoms going to disappear somewhere or some new atoms are formed? No. There is neither the atoms disappear from the reactant side nor some new atoms are formed. They only rearrange themselves. They only rearrange themselves to form new products. When hydrogen and oxygen combine, it will give water. That is the simplest example we are using every time. So, these two are the reactants that are reacting to give the product, that is water. Moving on to then how, as I told, in a language of chemistry, we will study how to write the chemical reactions, how to represent the chemical reaction. That we can do using chemical equations. Using chemical equations, we can write a chemical reaction. So, using chemical equation, how we can write? Like as just now I've given example that when hydrogen reacts with oxygen, we are getting water. So, we are using the sign of plus between the individual reactants. If two reactants are there or more reactants are there, we used to write them using the plus sign. Or in the product side as well, if you are getting two products or more products, we used to write by plus sign itself. Between reactant and product, as you can see here, there is a sign of arrow. So we use the sign of arrow to write between reactant and product. There are two ways of representing a chemical equation. How we can represent a chemical equation? By word equation or using symbols and formula. Using word equation, how we can represent? Means word equation means we used to write in words carbon plus sign, two reactants are there, carbon and oxygen, so plus sign give an arrow to write the product side, we are getting carbon dioxide as a product. So carbon and oxygen are the reactants here and carbon dioxide is the product here. The same thing how we can write using this formula. Carbon, C the symbol of it, and O2 is the formula for oxygen molecule. Atom and one molecule or two atoms of oxygen react to give one molecule of carbon dioxide. Similarly, we can take some more examples like magnesium. When reacts with oxygen, we will get what we will get? We will get magnesium dioxide or magnesium oxide, MgO. Okay. So here many more examples we can take like hydrogen and chlorine reacts to give hydrochloric acid. Okay. So all these are methods to write the chemical equations. Moving on to the next part. Now, if the reactants react, the new products we are getting, so that can characterize the chemical reactions being takes place to get the new products using the reactants. So, we will discuss now about the characteristics of occurrence of chemical reaction. What are when we are getting products that can bring change in the reactants? What can be those changes? Those changes can be in the form of evolution of a gas. When the reactants react, it can give in the form of gases state. Like if any liquid we are going to react or being heated, then it will convert into vapor state in the form of bubbles, the gases are escape out. That is known as effervescence. Okay. And always we used to show the product in the gaseous state as upward arrow. That can also be as in the form of change in color. When we are cooking food, sometimes there is a change in color. So there must be some chemical reaction takes place. Because of that, there is a change in color. Or somewhere else as well, you must have seen there is a change in color. Like if there is a stain on your cloth and you are using any detergent powder to wash it, that will bring change in the color. Evolution or absorption of energy means there is some energy required to the chemical reaction to take place, or there is some evolution like when burning of paper, burning of wood, there is a evolution of heat and light energy. Sometimes to cook food, there is an absorption of energy being takes place. Formation of precipitate. Whenever there is some reaction, there is a formation, a layer of a substance being takes place, that is in the form of precipitate. There can be change of physical state from solid to liquid, liquid to gaseous state, or again being converted into gaseous to liquid state. There is a generation of smell. The smell can also be possible. So during our next video, we will study more in detail about these characteristics.